Hi everyone, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening. Today is Fall Planter Day. Welcome to our garden here in Zone 5B/6A, upstate New York. Today we are planting our fall annuals in our front containers. We recently took out all of our summer annuals. Remember, we had that nice combination of the yellow and purples. Well, we're going fall today. We've removed those. We are adding in some mums, some ornamental kale, cabbage, I'm not quite sure which is which, and some peppers. In the center of this planter, we have the gorgeous Lilac Days Climbing Rose, and it's a shorter climber. You may remember that we planted these early in the season as bare root, and they have done extremely well.
They really have. And this is after their second cutback.
At least. And I don't know if we're keeping them in here indefinitely, but I know we're keeping them in here today and most likely through the winter. Don't you think, Christopher?
Yes, I think based on the heaviness of the container and the amount of soil, I think these are going to come through the winter just fine.
Oh, I think they'll be fine, especially because the container's black, and I think it'll absorb that winter heat, keep it warm. In the container, we also have these really cool little obelisks. I love them because they're going to add that structure that we need in this container, especially because everything's so floofy. Down here are the things we're going to be adding. We have some coral colored mums, and I'm really excited because last year I helped a friend pick out their mums and they picked out the coral mums. And when I saw them bloom at their house, I was like, oh, geez, we should have gotten those for our house.
He was so jealous about those mums.
But I wanted to show you, when we buy mums, these are GG Coral garden
GG
mums.
Coral.
When we buy them closed because mums bloom once for us and then the blooms fade and they're done. They're not a re-bloomer for us in the few weeks that we have left in our growing season. Because here in upstate New York, our first frost is usually the first week of October, and that's just a few weeks away. So these will bloom in the next few weeks and then they'll be done. And then we'll probably be doing winter containers soon. So we have these GG Coral mums. We also have this trio. I don't know if this is a good angle, Christopher, if you want me to pick them up. But we have this
you can leave them right there.
Trio right here, different textures. We're bringing in some of the blue. I thought this blue and this purple would play off of the blooms of the Lilac Days. And I do think we're going to get another flush of blooms before the frost.
Fingers crossed.
I do think it's going to happen. And then, just for a bright pop, these are yellow mums. I think these are just GG Yellow. Yep, GG Yellow garden mum.
Awesome.
And then some ornamental peppers, which have really cool variegation on their new growth.
And I like these peppers because they almost look like a grape.
Yeah, they're a cool shape too, and they have a little shine. So it's just a nice textural combination. We did remove the summer annuals, as I said, and if we need extra soil, Coast of Maine was recently here visiting our garden, and we were so happy to have them. And they left us with a new product. And this is Coast of Maine, which is organic and natural planting soil for annuals, specifically crafted for flowering and foliage annuals. And they said, if you're doing fall containers, try it out. Let us know how it goes, because they're super excited about it. I believe it'll be available everywhere next spring.
Next spring.
So if we need it, which I think we're probably going to,
we'll top off with that.
This is what we'll be using.
So when creating a design, as Eric has already kind of sketched out a little bit, the good thing about this particular obelisk is that we have sort of 8 notches that we can work in. And the way that Eric had originally put this together involved one here. This is that larger coral. Oh, this is moved a little.
Yeah, we can shift it. Everything shifts.
Yeah, they shift. That one, and then the other one was here.
Yes. Asymmetrical.
Little asymmetrical. It is kind of nice being able to plant in between these things. Then stepping down in size. I have to say this is my favorite.
I like
it's a little wild looking. That went here in the front. Then we have This number, ooh, this is going to be a tight spot. So maybe I'll use this one because it sticks out more.
You could, and we are, when people walk up to the front door, they're going to walk at this direction.
Then we'll
So
do like this
there's gonna be
one.
one here. Yep.
Of course, we're planting around rose thorns, so got to be careful of that.
And we're doing it really packed in because
These are not going to grow that much.
Yeah.
At this time of year, as the weather cools, they're not going to be putting out a ton. And then there's going to be one duo pocket with the yellow and that purple pepper sticking out over the top. And look at this combo. That's great. It is kind of funny when you're planting these kind of annuals, especially the mums that haven't cracked yet, you kind of miss that color.
and then we'll tuck that in there. So it is tight, it is compact, but these are only going to be around for about 4 weeks. I'm just going to carve out, these aren't that big of a root ball on these, if you can believe it. I mean, little 4-inch containers. I'm just going to carve out in here a little spot. Make sure there's some soil against the edge of the planter. But look at that.
Wow, that is bound.
They're going to be really thrilled. I'm gonna have to get some of that soil though. I'm glad they left it.
Yeah, wait till you see it from this side, Eric. It's maybe 30% touching soil at that angle.
Yeah, but I want that tilted look of the cabbage, so I'd rather do it this way.
How's that smell? Is it a good smell?
I don't know yet. I just opened it.
Get in there, get in there.
Yeah.
Kind of
Smells like dirt.
It smells like dirt.
Yeah, let me get my scoop. So what I'm gonna do is just, put a little scoop up in there for now, and I will come back and pack this in a bit.
Once
later.
everything else is planted, there'll be probably less packing to do.
Yeah, because things are gonna shift as we're in here. And then this is a big pink or coral mum is gonna go here, covering up most of this root ball.
Oh yeah, that already looks much better.
If it's not all covered, I'm not too worried. This big coral mum is going in next.
Beautiful. Lift up this rose piece here.
Again, doing it at this angle here. Very pretty.
It's great.
That's definitely gonna need a little soil underneath it though.
Yes, it will. Would it be helpful to have the super scoop for this?
It sure would.
There you go. It's my new favorite tool of the year. It's called the super scoop. Show it off, Eric. Ooh. I'm very easily amused.
What I'm doing right now is I'm reaching my hand in there and just making sure the root balls are all covered and all tucked in. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
How's it looking?
It looks so good.
Does it? I'm glad.
I really like the kale textures. We got the curly one, the kind of wild one that he's looking at right now, and then that one that's more tidy, tucked over here.
And these will all, they'll put on a little bit of growth and they'll all start to bloom, and it's going to look so full and lush and so fall.
Especially with the rose. This is a good combo.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about roses in the fall, but for us, our roses do very well in the fall. We have one all done. I think it looks pretty great.
I'm really excited about this.
Everything's pretty well tucked in. I'm just making sure all the root balls are covered. There's some mounding happening inside, but that's gonna be totally fine. I think we're good, and now we just have to do it 2 more times.
Well, I'm proud of us. I think they came out really nice. The great combination of the cool kale tones with this bright yellow to come and the coral to come with the purple pepper, and of course the roses. I think this looks great, and the obelisk showing through gives it that little piece of structure. So of course they're repeated with a different kale in the front of each one. So that brings us up here to the front, where we have the head planters. We're going to be repeating the yellow mums to give a little poofy hairdo on the guys. And then for these, watch this nifty trick, if I can do the nifty trick.
You can do it.
Hold on. Wow, that was a letdown. Oh my goodness, ta-da! This is this wonderful idea. This was your idea, wasn't it, Eric? To
Yes.
make inserts, mostly because the stone or the cement kept getting stained every time we would water these planters. So what we did, cut a 5-gallon pail, cut the top off, we sink them in there, put the smaller version of this obelisk in there, and we can plant and bring it in and out as we need to. So I'll go get the other one, and then we can figure out what we're planting in here.
Yes, and I'll show you guys. These planters I had bought at Home Goods, and then I just painted them. One shade darker than our front door, but inside are bricks to hold up the 5-gallon bucket. And then this is evergreen fog, and this is rosemary. And then that's how those planters work. And they're mostly full shade. Mums need sun, but these are so hopped up on fertilizer, they'll be fine. They will bloom and be fine. But you can see these look real scraggly, these shade perennials that we've had out there since May.
I'm wondering if it might be time soon to invest in really good faux greenery.
Ugh.
It's so terrible to think about it, but I think we might need to go faux.
One of the things I love about having these planters right here is that you can move them to wherever you want to work, and they're not going to cause a mess on our front porch. And since these two planters are going to match this Luca planter right here, I think we should put all three right next to each other, and then you'll be able to do all three at one time.
Planting containers is one of Eric's favorite parts of gardening.
So you're lucky I'm letting you do it.
It's a big deal right now. The pressure is on.
Luckily, I already did one right over here to show them how I wanted it.
Yes. So I'm saving this one for the Urbino because it has a little bloom on it that's so cute. Or the Luca next to me. I'm gonna tuck this guy in here at the back. This kind of chartreusey millet. Isn't this a cool color?
I like it, and I picked that color because our front door is a little dark, and I wanted that to kind of pop against it.
Okay, and then I need some soil up in here. To tuck in this fun.
A little more angled. There you go. Kind of that spilling over abundance look
Yes.
is what we're going for.
We want to almost like a cornucopia of abundance here in the fall. Okay, got that one. And then the last thing you did was the 6-inch coral.
Yes, these are going to be mostly in the shade up there, but a little deeper, a little lower in the pot, and a little tiltier.
A little tilt. I can't do both tiltier and lower.
Look to your right.
Oh, it's more squat.
Yeah, a little deeper. There you go.
There we are.
And then one more component.
It's so funny at this point, it just doesn't look like I'm doing it.
No, you're getting that root ball in there. We're getting it all protected.
You ever notice you make funny faces doing random things like that?
I just saw something about it. Like it's your face relaxes because your brain is so focused.
All right, and then this little baby pepper at the front.
Right, tucked in there to kind of fill that spot, keep it nice and high. And we really wanted to try and keep the obelisk on these, the little mini obelisk that we have that matches the big one, but they're just planted so full.
We couldn't get
We
it.
couldn't do it. We couldn't fit the obelisk around the mums without snapping branches.
We have accomplished our goal.
That looks amazing.
Ta-da! So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oh, that's heavy.
It's a little heavy.
Look at the millet. Isn't that funny?
That
this
is
little
cute.
cattail looking thing on it. So because people walk in this way, I think we should put the millet back here.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
And this isn't going to be quite as tight because the pot's a little wider, so
Yeah, a little more room. Oh, I love this one.
that's a cool one. The other thing that's great about being able to pull out these buckets and work on them here is we can also water them here, let them drain, and then place them.
Big time.
So that can have a little space, yeah, because,
There's more room.
yeah.
And I'm not too worried about reusing soil because this time of year, things aren't going to grow that much. I do need a little more soil in this back here.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get that after I pop in the purple pepper. Right there.
I really like that combo. You've got the chartreuse gold, you've got the blue, you've got the purple, you've got the green. Really, it's quite lovely.
It's nice to have all the foliage colors in even before the blooms join us later.
And we're so lucky that we have this great little greenhouse that grows their own stuff, so they're very reasonably priced, right around the corner from us.
Last pots.
Last pots are little head planters. Got these at a local garden center, Fadigan's. You might have heard us mention that one a couple of times. Super, super simple. They're just going to be little monopots with one mum in them. And if I was feeling particularly lazy, I could just put the mum in like that.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. You might have to take a touch of soil out.
Yeah. I mean, I might just do that. Just put it in like that. We've done it before.
I think the reason I like this is that it kind of looks like a funny hat. It's
It's a little silly.
a little silly.
Gotta have a little whimsy. I think I'm just popping them in.
Yeah, just do it.
I know people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, the scandal. But if people can put there, how does that look?
It's honestly, it's hysterical. But
I mean, they're only gonna be in there a couple of weeks.
it looks ridiculous. It's kind of chia pet right now,
All right.
and I'm into it.
Well, let's place some and then we'll do a little cleanup and a little tour.
It's so funny. Why does that one look like it's crying green tears?
Doesn't get enough sun. Here we have it. We have our matching containers. They are symmetrical to each other so that, they mirror each other, I guess is the right term, right?
Yeah, they mirror each other.
They mirror each other with our coral mums and our kale and our peppers and our millet. And then the yellow mums down here and the head planters, which I think are really sweet. I think that's kind of silly. And then this is the same planter as the ones by the front door with the coral mums and the peppers and the kale. And then bringing, again, the repetition of the coral and the yellow and the peppers all the way across the front of the house. And that's going to be it for our fall planters this year. We have plans for something different in the back. Thank you so much for joining us today as we updated our planters for fall. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.